Hello, my lovelies. We are back with another round of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. So we're back with another round of Have I Read It? It has been a minute since I've done one of these because I've been busy traveling the world, and that was amazing. I will link the playlist up here if you want to go and check out my grand adventures. But now I need to get back to doing these because, yeah, it's been a while. So if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Have I Read It is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And in this one, you get to help pick my TBR. So the way this works is I react to one of my past book hauls, and I tell you if I've read the books, if I haven't read the books, if I've unhauled the books. And out of the ones that I still own that I have not read, you get to vote and help me decide which one I need to put on my TBR. So if there are 10 or less books that I still own that I have not read, I will pick the number one voted book. If there's 11 to 20, I'll pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. So today we're going to be reacting to the book haul November 2019. So let me pull this up. Okay, I have my earbuds connected. I don't know why I'm looking so red or pink or whatever. Maybe I can fix it in editing. I don't know. Let me actually go grab a light really quick, and that might help. Okay, I think that helps. So I've got the video pulled up. I've got my earbuds connected. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a massive book haul for you. So stay tuned. So in the month of November, I accumulated 24 books. Most of these actually came from subscription boxes that I opened in November. Yeah, there's a lot of them. And then these 3, I believe, are books that I pre-ordered from Amazon. I am so excited to show you all of these books. So let's just jump right in. I'll start with the books that I pre-ordered from Amazon. And this first one, Marty and I are both super excited for this book. It's a chunker. It is The Toll by Neal Shusterman. I don't think that we have actually read that. I know we read the first one and the second one, but I don't think we ever got around to reading the final one. And I also since have gotten Gleanings, which is like the short stories. I haven't read that either. So I guess The Toll is going to be the first one. We'll definitely have to refresh my memory. I'm trying to find something to write on. I would definitely have to refresh my memory on what happens in the second one. I remember the first one clearly, and I remember the second one's Thunderhead, and I remember a lot of it was told from the perspective of the Thunderhead, but I don't remember everything that happened. So this is the first one that you can vote for. I do still own this one because I absolutely love this series. So the Scythe series is you have like this world where there's no death, like regular natural deaths anymore. There's no illnesses, no dying from accidents or anything, and you can be fixed at any time. But because of, and you can also like reset your body pretty much to go back to any age up to like 20 or something like that at any time. So if you get to the point where you're like feeling old or whatever, you want to be young again, you can. But because of this, there's like an overpopulation problem, and in order to balance that, we have scythes, and the scythes are tasked with choosing people to kill off, that they don't get to regenerate or whatever and come back. They are just done. And it's a very respected and feared position, and they believe that the people that are scythes are people that don't really want to be a scythe because they don't want to take lives, so they're very careful in how they choose how to take lives. And we have some people that, of course, shouldn't be a scythe and want to misuse their power, and they don't select randomly, or they just have too much fun with it. And it's a freaking fantastic series, and I absolutely adore Neil Shusterman's writing, and so I'm excited to read this, though I'm definitely going to have to refresh my memory before going into it. All right, next up. So the next book that I got from Amazon was The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. Okay, so I think that is the first book in that series, and if it is, I have read it, but let me double check. Okay, so that is the first book in the Camelot Rising series, and I have read it. I do still own it. I gave it 4 stars. I very much enjoyed it, and I think I have the sequel as well, but I haven't read the sequel yet. All right, next up. And then the last book that I pre-ordered from Amazon was A Supernova by Marissa Meyer. I don't know if that, I can't remember which one in the series that is. I have read the first 2 in the series, but I think Supernova is book 3. It is. It's the conclusion to the Renegade series, and I have not read that one either. Okay. I also really enjoyed the first 2 books in this series, and just never got around to reading the 3rd one because there's always so many other books. So the Renegades is like superheroes, and there's sort of an interesting blur between which heroes are good and which ones are bad. Our main character, Nova, she blames the good guys for her parents' death, and so she is one of the villains pretty much, and her villain name is Nightmare. But she and this team of villains, they're working to like overtake the good guys, and she infiltrates their school type thing to help get in, and they want to take out the head guy. So the good guys are called the Renegades, and the villains are called the Anarchists. And yeah, the Anarchists are trying to destroy the Renegades. I didn't think I would be a fan of like superhero type things, but I really am. I ended up giving the first 2 books both 5 stars. So I am looking forward to reading this. So if you want me to read this, vote Supernova. And as far as the first one, if you want me to read The Toll, vote The Toll. Okay, let me get back to the video. All right, next up. Okay, so then all of these, I believe, came from subscription boxes. So these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, these first 5 books here are actually from, I think, Al Crate Jr. They were Xander books, but they're books that I'll read as well, or we'll read together. So the first one here is actually the smallest, and it's also the one Xander's most excited for, and that is Cog. I think I've unhauled this, but let me double check. Okay, it doesn't look like I've unhauled it, so let me see if I can find this one. I know for The Toll and Supernova, those would be buried in my room somewhere, because the series that I've started, any of those books are in the master bedroom, and so I don't want to go and try to dig through that, because that's a chaotic mess right now. But Cog should be here in the office, so let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I can't find it in here, which leads me to believe I either did unhaul it and haven't marked it, or it's in my guest room closet, which is a possibility. So I'm just going to pull it up here on Goodreads to tell you about it. This says 5 robots, 1 unforgettable journey. Their programming will never be the same. Cog looks like a normal 12-year-old boy, but his name is short for cognitive development, and he was built to learn. But after an accident leaves him damaged, Cog wakes up in an unknown lab, and Gina, the scientist who created and cared for him, is nowhere to be found. Surrounded by scientists who want to study him and remove his brain, Cog recruits 4 robot accomplices for a mission to find her. Cog, 88, Proto, Trashbot, and Car's journey will likely involve much cognitive development in the form of mistakes, but Cog is willing to risk everything to find his way back to Gina. So if you want me to read this, vote Cog. So far, I am really not doing well. This is a very bad start. I think we're 3 books in and 3 books that I haven't read. Oh wait, 4 books in and only 1 I've actually read. Okay, next up. Next up we have The Good Thieves by Katherine Rundle. I have not read The Good Thieves, but let me see if I still own it. Okay, so this is another one that should be in here. Yes, let me grab it. Okay, I found The Good Thieves, but I also found Cog. I was looking for the author under E, but I had it under Van because it's Van Eekout. Greg Van Eekout. Okay, so this one, and this is a short book too, so. The books here in my office, or my Marty's office, is they're my like higher priority books because they're either ones I've gotten new, which this is definitely not new, or they have like over like a 4.0 on Goodreads. So this one does have an over 4.0. The Good Thieves also does. It has like a 4.12. This one says, when Vita's grandfather's mansion is taken from him by a powerful real estate tycoon, Vita knows it's up to her to make things right. With the help of a pickpocket and her new circus friends, Vita creates the plan. Break into the mansion, steal back what's rightfully her grandfather's, expose the real estate tycoon for the crook he truly is. But 1920s Manhattan is ever-changing and full of secrets. It might take more than Vita's ragtag gang of misfits to outsmart the city that never sleeps. Award-winning author Katherine Rundle has created an utterly gripping tour de force about loyalty, trust, and the links to which we'll go for the ones we love. So if you want me to read this, vote The Good Thieves. Okay, let me get back to the video. All right, next up. Next we have Time Sight by Lynn Jonell. I have not read Time Sight either, and I'm not sure if I still own it, so I have to check. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. I have read this, and it looks like I still own it, because I gave it 4 stars. Oh, I do remember this. Okay, yeah, this one was super, super cute, and set in the Scottish Islands. I definitely recommend it. I remember it now that I've looked at the synopsis. But yeah, I have read it. Yay. All right, next up. And then we have Malamander by Thomas Taylor, illustrated by Tom Booth. I have read Malamander. I remember reading that one with my mom. And I need to, at some point, read the second one because I really enjoyed the first one. All right, next. Oh, and I would still have that one because I did, let me double check. Make sure I still own it. But I'm pretty sure I do because that was one that I did really like. Yeah, I gave that one 4 stars as well. All right, next up. Next up we have The 12. I don't know if I still have this one or not. Let me check. Okay, that looks like another one that I do still own. I have not read and should be in this room. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. This one says, Uzagi can hear a squirrel's heartbeat from a mile away. She can soar over treetops in one giant leap and creep so quietly that no one has a chance of finding her. She was born in the year of the wood rabbit, and it's given her zodiac gifts that are a much that are as much a part of her as her breathing. But ever since the mysterious, vicious dragon lord hunted down her parents and all those with zodiac powers, Usagi has been very careful to keep hers and those of her rambunctious little sister, Uma, a secret. But when Uma grows too bold with her powers, she and her best friend Tora are captured by the Dragon Guard. Usagi barely escapes, and only with the help of 3 mysterious strangers. They call themselves the Heirs of the 12, and claim they will inherit the powers of a mystical group of skilled warriors who once protected the land. Now to save her sister, Usagi must hone her rabbit skills and journey with the heirs to Mount Jade, mythical home of the 12, to learn from the powerful teacher known only as the Tigress. As her skill and knowledge grow, new mysteries unfold. Usagi must decide who she stands with and who she trusts as she takes on deadly warriors, a test of courage, and even the elusive, dangerous Dragon Lord himself. So if you want me to read this, vote the 12. Okay. Next up. Now on to the books that came in my subscription boxes. The first one we have here is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I have read and freaking love Spin the Dawn. I still own that. Next. Okay, next up we have House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. Okay, so I have not read House of Salt and Sorrows. I do still own it. And I believe it's in my guest room closet, which is not something that I can easily get to. Well, actually, hold on. Okay, I must have pulled that book out for some other reason because it's not in its place, but the sequel is, so maybe it's downstairs somewhere. So let me pull this up on Goodreads. Okay, this says, in a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. Annalie lives a sheltered life at Highmore, a manor by the sea, with her sisters, her father, and her stepmother. Once they were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death is more tragic than the last. The plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slippery plunge. And there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that the family is cursed by the gods. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Annalie becomes increasingly suspicious that the deaths were no accidents. Her sisters have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls and dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers, and Annalie isn't sure whether to try to stop them or join their forbidden trysts, because who or what are they really dancing with? When Annalie's involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that's fallen over their family before it claims her next. So if you want me to read this, vote House of Salt and Sorrows. Okay, let me get back to the video. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have a paperback classic that came in, I don't remember which box, but it's The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I do still own The Haunting of Hill House, but I have not read it. Let me see. Let me go grab that. It's in my guest room closet. Okay, so I don't think that was actually in, well, I couldn't find it in my guest room closet. I believe it's probably on my shelf with my classics, in like my old books down in the living room. And I don't want to go downstairs and grab it. So I can just tell you here, this says, it's a story of 4 seekers who arrive at a notoriously unfriendly pile called Hill House. Dr. Montague, an occult scholar looking for solid evidence of a haunting, Theodora, the light-hearted assistant, Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman well acquainted with poltergeists, and Luke, the future heir of Hill House. At first, their stay seems destined to be merely a spooky encounter with inexplicable phenomena, but Hill House is gathering its powers, and soon it will choose one of them to make its own. So, if you want me to read this, vote The Haunting of Hill House. All right, next up. Next up, we have The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I have read and still own The Bone Houses. Next. Okay, next we have We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I'm sure I butchered that name and I'm so sorry. We Hunt the Flame. I believe that's one I still have, but let me double check. Yeah, I think that's in my guest room closet. But let me go look. Actually, I had this one in here in the office. So here we go. This says, people lived because she killed. People died because he lived. Zafira is the hunter, disguising herself as a man when she braves the cursed forest of the Araz to feed her people. Nazir is the Prince of Death, assassinating those foolish enough to defy his autocratic father, the Sultan. If Saphira is exposed as a girl, all of her achievements will be rejected. If Nazir displays his compassion, his father will punish him in the most brutal of ways. Both Saphira and Nazir are legends in the kingdom of Arawaya, but neither wants to be. War is brewing, and the Ars sweeps closer with each passing day, engulfing the land in shadow. When Zafira embarks on a quest to uncover a lost artifact that can restore magic to her suffering world and stop the Ars, Nazir is sent by the Sultan on a similar mission: retrieve the artifact and kill the hunter. But an ancient evil stirs as their journey unfolds, and the prize they seek may pose a threat greater than either can imagine. Set in a richly detailed world inspired by ancient Arabia, We Hunt the Flame is a gripping debut of discovery, conquering fear, and taking identity into your own hands. So if you want me to read this, vote We Hunt the Flame. Alright, next up. Okay, next up we have Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I have not read that. I believe, yes, it's right here. Hold on. Here we go. This one says, all sorcerers are evil. Elizabeth has known that as long as she has known anything. Raised as a foundling in one of Ostamir's great libraries, Elizabeth has grown up among the tools of sorcery, magical grimoires that whisper on the shelves and rattle beneath iron chains. If provoked, they transform into grotesque monsters of ink and leather. She hopes to become a warden, charged with protecting the kingdom from their power. Then an act of sabotage releases the library's most dangerous grimoire. Elizabeth's desperate intervention implicates her in the crime, and she is torn from her home to face justice in the capital. With no one to turn to but her sworn enemy, the sorcerer Nathaniel Thorne, and his mysterious demonic servant, she finds herself entangled in a centuries-old conspiracy. Not only could the great libraries go up in flames, but the world along with them. As her alliance with Nathaniel grows stronger, Elizabeth starts to question everything she's been taught about the sorcerers, about the library she so loves, even about herself. For Elizabeth has a power she has never guessed, and a future she could never have imagined. So if you want me to read this, vote Sorcery of Thorns. Okay, so that is 9 books so far, and there is still a big stack behind me there, so yeah. I have not read a lot of these books, apparently. Alright, next up. Okay, next up we have Crier's War by Nina Varela. I haven't read this one either, and I do still own it. I know I do. I'm not sure which room it's in, so give me 1 second. Okay, it looks like it should be in here. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. This one says, impossible love between 2 girls, 1 human, 1 maid. A love that could birth a revolution. After the War of Kinds ravaged the kingdom of Rabu, the Ottoman, designed to be playthings of royals, took over the estates of their owners and bent the human race to their will. Now Ayla, a human servant rising in the ranks at the house of the sovereign, dreams of avenging the death of her family by killing the sovereign's daughter, Lady Crier. Crier, who is made to be beautiful, to be flawless, and to take over the work of her father. Crier had been preparing to do just that, to inherit her father's rule over the land, but that was before she was betrothed to Skyer Canuck, who seems to have 1,000 secrets. That was before she discovered her father isn't as benevolent as she thought. That was before she met Ayla. Set in a richly imagined fantasy world, Nina Varela's debut novel is a sweepingly romantic tale of love, loss, and revenge that grapples with what it really means to be human. So if you want me to read this, vote Crier's War. Okay, so that's 10. So if I get any more, then I'll have to pick the top 2 voted books. And this is not the only Have I Read It I'm doing this month, so there'll be another one coming soon. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have I Hope You Get This Message by
Farah Naz Rishi.
Okay, so I have not read this, but let me see if I still own it. Okay, no, that is one that I unhauled. I think that's the first one in this video that I've actually unhauled. All right, next up.
Okay, so these next 4 books were sent from, I think, Unplugged Book Box. I can't recall, but it was like some kind of one-time bonus thing they did. And I was so confused when I got these because I was like, I have no idea what's going on with them. So it's the first 4 books in a series. The series is called The Murderbot Diaries. It's definitely a sci-fi, and they're little short books, which is handy. I don't really know too much about this. We have All Systems Red is book 1. Artificial Conditioning is book 2. Rogue Protocol is book 3. And Exit Strategy is book 4.
I have not read any of them. None of those 4 from the Murderbot Diaries. But I have heard really, really good things about them. Let me see where they are. All Systems Red is the first book. I know I still own them. And I think they're in here. So let me see. Yep, I see them. Okay, so I just grabbed the first one because I don't need to grab the whole stack. The first one is All Systems Red. And this says, I have to make myself do things I don't want to do, like talk to humans. In a corporate-dominated space-faring future, planetary missions must be approved and supplied by the company. Exploratory teams are accompanied by company-supplied security robots for their own safety. But in a society where contracts are awarded to the lowest bidder, safety isn't a primary concern. On a distant planet, a team of scientists are conducting surface tests, shadowed by their company-supplied bot, a self-aware SEC unit that has hacked its own governor module and refers to itself, though never out loud, as Murderbot. Scornful of humans, all it really wants is to be left alone long enough to figure out who it is. But when a neighboring mission goes dark, it's up to the scientists and their Murderbot to get to the truth. And yeah, these are really short, like just a little 100 and something pages. And I've heard excellent things about them, so I am looking forward to reading them. That's why they were in the office. Yeah, that puts me over, because now I'm at 14. Okay, so if you want me to read this, you can vote All Systems Red. Okay. Well, it looks like there's only 4 other books left, so I shouldn't go past 20. I shouldn't go past 18 if I haven't read anything else. Okay, next up.
Okay, another thing that they sent as sort of like a reward for something else was an ARC. And so they sent me the ARC of 1,000 Fires by Shannon Price.
I believe this is one that I've unhauled, but let me double check. Yes, I did unhaul that one. All right, next up. Oh, actually, before I go to the next one, I need to change my battery because it's about to die. Be right back. Okay, sorry if the angle changed, and that took a lot longer than expected because not only did I change out my battery, but I also had to change out my SD card, but I had to dump my other SD card, and my SD card slot wasn't working, and yeah, it was a whole thing. But we're back. We're ready to continue this and see how the rest of this one goes. All right, continuing on.
Next up we have Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland.
I'm not sure about this one. I have to check. Oh, and as far as 1,000 Fires, I know I said I unhauled it, but I did actually read it. It was just like a 3-star read for me, so I don't keep anything below a 4-star unless it's part of a series and I plan on continuing the series. Okay, so this is one that I still own. It would be in my closet in my guest room, but I think it's in a section that I can't easily get to because there's a bunch of stuff in the way. So I'm just going to read you what it says here on Goodreads. Kamai was warned never to open the black door, but she didn't listen. Of course not. Everyone has a soul. Some are beautiful gardens, others are frightening dungeons. Soul walkers like Kamai and her mother can journey into other people's souls while they sleep. But no matter where Kamai visits, she sees the black door. It follows her into every soul, and her mother has told her to never ever open it. When Kamai touches the door, it's warm and beating like it has a pulse. When she puts her ear to it, she hears her own name whispered from the other side. And when tragedy strikes, Kamai does the unthinkable. She opens the door. A.M. Strickland's imaginative dark fantasy features court intrigue and romance, a main character coming to terms with her asexuality, and twists and turns as a seductive mystery unfolds that endangers not just Kamai's own soul, but the entire kingdom. So if you want me to read this, vote Beyond the Black Door. Okay. Next up.
Next up, we have Tinfoil Butterfly, a novel by Rachel Eve Moulton.
I have not read Tinfoil Butterfly, and I can't remember if I unhauled it or not. So let me look. I feel like I unhauled it. Yeah, I did. All right. Next up.
And then last but not least, we have Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghost by Kate Ratulia.
Okay, I have not read this one, and I'm pretty sure I still own it. I think it's in this room. Let me see if I can find it. No, this one is also in my guest room where I can't easily access it. So I'm just going to tell you what it says on Goodreads. A dying billionaire sends one woman and a cast of dreamers and rivals on a citywide treasure hunt in this irresistible novel by the author Bellwether Rhapsody. Tuesday Mooney is a loner. She keeps to herself, begrudgingly socializes, and spends much of her time watching old Twin Peaks and X-Files DVDs. But when Vincent Price, Boston's most eccentric billionaire, dies, leaving behind an epic treasure hunt through the city, the clues inspired by his hero Edgar Allan Poe, Tuesday's adventure finally begins. Puzzle-loving Tuesday searches for clue after clue, joined by a ragtag crew, a wisecracking friend, an adoring teen neighbor, and a handsome, cagey young heir. The hunt tests their mettle, and with other teams from around the city also vying for the promised prize, a share of Price's immense wealth, they must move quickly. Price's clues can't be cracked with sharp wit alone. The searchers must summon the courage to face painful ghosts from their past, some more vivid than others, and discover their most guarded desires and dreams. A deliciously funny ode to imagination, overflowing with love letters to art, from the West End Game to Madonna to the Knights of the Round Table. Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghosts is the perfect read for thrill seekers, wanderers, word lovers, and anyone looking for an escape to the extraordinary. This also sounds fantastic. So if you want me to read this, vote Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghosts. So if I kept up with it all on this little post-it note here, that looks like 16 books that I still own that I have not read. That's out of 24 books. That's what I said at the beginning of this haul video. There were 24 books in that. So I really did not do well at all. So the books that you can vote for, we have The Toll, Supernova, Cog, The Good Thieves, House of Salt and Sorrows, The Haunting of Hill House, The 12, We Hunt the Flame, Sorcery of Thorns, Crier's War, Beyond the Black Door, All Systems Red, and Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghosts. So comment down below which book or books you would like to see on my TBR next month. You can vote for as many books as you like, but I will only pick the top 2 voted books. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!